Hello everyone, welcome back. So I'm doing this reading on Tuesday the 10th, but it's for Trump's health on Thursday the 12th. So please forgive me if I don't speak to don't speak to any events that may happen between the 10th and the 12th that I don't, if I miss something that came out in the news, like maybe another trip up the stairs. Someone commented, oh, they could build him a chairlift. Well, that would be the way it happens for someone who's handicapped. Yeah. And wouldn't that be just like divine karma with the fact, remember how he's made so much fun of the handicapped, including veterans. Anyway, oh my gosh, the things he said about John McCain and people in the military are suckers and losers. He likes people that don't get what did he say? I forget what that word is when John McCain was held captive for so long, but I can't remember that word when they actually take them. Help me. Sometimes I did. I'm coming from my spirit. I'm grounded. And then I'm shuffling cards, trying to fit into his narrow, consciousness. And it's hard. And I have a hard time with my words a lot of times, too. And I guess it's because I'm in his, I don't know. I tend to not want to blame anybody but myself. But Thursday, June 12th. What would be happening in the body of Mofo Shitler? Right there. Okay. Seven of Pentacles. Reversed is the forces in motion for the day. So what we have are neck problems, eating disorders, OCDs, limited success or outright friggin' failure, lack of long-term vision are keywords with this card. So yeah, okay. His challenge for the day in his body is homeostasis. This is our card for the temperance rules, the endocrine system, and so when it comes through in the challenge position, I read it like a reversal because that's how I read. So when it's reversed, we're talking probably, blood sugar issues. It could also be drug interactions. If you go with just the image and you're like, seeing things go back and forth, those could be drug interactions, because I'm sure he doesn't, unless they're taking blood tests all the time and screening for certain drugs. His healthcare team, they're not being told what he's actually doing. And I got a long time ago that Don Jr. is his main hookup for whatever he needs. And who knows what kind of bad habits he might have acquired from hanging out with Muskmelon for quite some time, right? And oh boy, the dirt that Musk must have on him, right? I mean, we can only imagine. So, but anyway, when this card comes to reverse, it's my card for overdoses, excesses, imbalances, drug interactions, fevers, gout, grave illnesses, and blood transfusions. The red wings, blood. This is, I think, Archangel is supposed to. Well, some decks, some creators say it's Archangel Raphael, and others say no. That's the what do you call Lovers. I go with Archangel Michael. That's the way I was taught. But, we see the healing up here, right? The healing through balance. All systems work together unless you mess with it. Okay. Ooh. So, morning, 7 of Wands reversed with the 10 of Swords reversed. So, just strictly the level of health. With the 7 of, let's go with the health first, and then I'll talk about the other meanings, just in case, because I said on the level of health. Let's just do it that way. We're talking STDs, heart issues, strokes. Mars and Leo. The energy can just go crazy. Now, he has his natal Mars in Leo, and he is going through his Mars return. And we all get a Mars return every 2 years. So, hence the terrible twos, little kids, they're not terrible. They've got so much energy and power, it's really hard to manage. You imagine? But with him, on another level with this card, 7 of Wands, in case you're not looking and you're just listening, 7 of Wands reversed, this is somebody caving in and giving up. I don't know that he'll ever admit defeat, but this is not being able to stand up for himself well. And the 10 of Swords coming through reversed is problems with his mind going blank, and upper body problems, pulmonary problems, and undiagnosed disorders, neurological disorders, because it's Mercury in Virgo. And it's also a card of seizures when it comes to reversed. This is not good. On another level outside of the health, but definitely affects the health, when we have the 10 of Swords reversed, it can be an accident with a sharp object. It can be somebody who fakes their death. I don't think he's going to do that. It's also someone who is really, into conspiracy theories. That's him, right? So, okay. It's like he's stabbing himself in the back all the time, right? Okay, noontime, or roundabouts there, midday, we've got the Knight of Swords. So a lot of really fast words coming in, hasty actions, needs to slow down. Now this could also be, because it's Mars in Aquarius, just think of flying, departures, landing, takeoff and landing in Air Force One all over the place. So there's probably some traveling going on today. He does most every day, whether or not it's Air Force One or the helicopter, I forget what it's called. Marine One, is that what they call it? But anywho, who's the woman? Because the we've been getting her quite a bit. The Queen of Cups. I'm not going to read this as his health, because I've already set the intention for when the Queens and Kings come up, and a lot of the Knights, to look at it as people who are working for him or against him. This Knight of Swords, I really do think it has to do with his traveling, but it's on the level of health that we're just talking shoulders and nervous system. If it were reversed, I would say, could be an accident, someone falling and someone very inept around him. But it's upright, so I have to just go with he's going too fast, he needs to be careful, and all of his opinions are coming out all over the place, and maybe that's why he is, something he says and does in the morning creates this problem for him. Then, with that Queen of Cups reversed, this is someone working against him, that he opposes him, that doesn't help him at all. So we're in the territory of Elizabeth Warren and Judge Chutkan And I think Lauren Alicon is another judge, and Amy Berman Jackson is another judge we know. She's been working hard. So 3 cancer judges, 3 judges with the sun sign of Cancer. Yeah, okay. Keep it up, dude. We'll see how this lands someday. It's just, even if they don't get to bring everything through that they have working against him, and they're, he has, I think, about 100 or more lawsuits now. And so even if they're just holding him at bay, it's still contributing to his stress, because psychopaths and malignant narcissists, they just do not like being told no. It's like death to them. Oh, and then his health gets worse in the evening, and he's so overwhelmed. So with the 5 of Pentacles on the level of health, it's his mind is going into survival. Maybe he takes some snow. Maybe he's sniffing something in later on in the evening to keep him going, because he's tired. Right? But also, this is a card of loss, financial loss, sometimes major poverty. But I think it's more with him, honestly, I think it's really just kind of being rejected and left out in the cold, and he's using something to help him stay up, because he's not up right here in the morning. And then with the 10 of Wands, of course, on the level of health, this is just overwhelmed, unbelievably overwhelmed, but at least maybe finishing. And so if you combine these two, of course, this would be using something up the nose to, some quick bump of something to stay upright and finish the job. And he's meeting with, later on in the evening, well, maybe he's not meeting with anybody late in the evening. We have the 2 of Wands and the King of Swords reversed. And so if he's not meeting with anyone late, this could be him talking to, because this would be, if it's true that Putin is a Libra, the King of Swords reversed could definitely be Putin. And so this could be a late night powwow, over burner phones, with them, each other, because, he does that. We know he does that. So, but when it comes to health, Mars in Aries is always about, Mars does rule Aries, and it puts the energy out. And with Aries, it's up into the head. And, if we go with just the imagery here, is this somebody on the other side of the world, or somewhere in a different country, right? So yeah, this is my card for discovering something. 2 of Wands is about discovering something that leads to decisions for the future, so you can make plans, so that you can take charge of something. And who's he talking to about that? The guy that owns his ass, the guy that has him by the short hairs. If we're to read the King of Swords reversed, just on the level of health, we're talking kidney problems. I don't know that he totally has kidney problems. I'm just giving you the meanings of the cards, and then we're going to see how this all plays out. So far, I have a preponderance of cards come through always that he has nervous system problems and heart problems, and stroke seems to be the key thing that keeps coming through. But with this guy, with the Knight of Swords reversed, this could be a man that's really working against him, but he doesn't know it because he's clueless, and that would be Putin. He's Putin's pawn, Putin's puppet. He has to do Putin's work, and in fact, he's obliged to. And I mean, remember that reporting? We know that he's obliged to Putin. But back to the health issues. This card has to do with, nervous system problems, imbalances, and blood sugar. So it would be somebody getting dizzy a lot, especially if he's not treated the right way. Now, this could also be a doctor who doesn't really care about him at all, and it is actually working against him, but he doesn't know it. Yeah, that could definitely happen, couldn't it? If this is a person in his team that is not helping him at all, of course, this would be Hexeth. And he's been getting grilled in Congress. So there's that. But he's just lying. He doesn't remember anything, And then we'll take care of it, but he doesn't remember things. So this is also Marco Rubio. This is also John Ratcliffe. It could also be Lee Zeldin, the head of the EPA, and this could also be little Mikey Mike. Elf on the Shelf, as Lori over the Way of Positive Change calls him. So I think it's Putin, and I think it's actually powwows with Mike Johnson, and I think he has a doctor that he can't trust. And I think it's also Hexeth, or Hog's Breath. Okay, but I could be wrong. It could be some of those other men. So let's see what was at the bottom, at the foundation. Oh, poor little dumpy wompy. Oh my God. So he's regretting his going scorched earth. Talk about loss and loss and more loss. So things are not going well for him at all. Again, possibly falling down the stairs. This is the Nine of Swords is absolutely tripping and falling in places. It's absolutely OCDs, can't think about, anything else. The mind is just racing. It's also our card for severe depression, going through the dark night of the soul, if he were to feel his feelings, but no, he's not. Instead, he's being haunted and tormented. Lots of stress, lots of fears, overthinking all the time. I doubt he really feels guilty, but he will regret the things that he's done that don't work, or he just blames everyone else is what he does, and gaslights. So, excuse me, with the Five of Swords coming through reversed, we're looking at having to compromise. Now, I doubt, and this is my funeral card as well, when it comes to reverse, I don't think he's going to be attending a funeral, but that's a possibility if something happens. I can't see him really being able to move on, which is some of the key words for the Five of Swords reversed, if you guys are learning there. But to me, I feel like it's his own self-sabotage coming back to him, his own bullying, his own abuse, his own assault. That's more if it were upright, but reversed, I can't see him really moving on or compromising. I see him being quiet about it and just holding it in. But both of these cards here, so that we have some commonalities here with the Seven of Wands reversed and the Five of Swords reversed. We're both in that caving in, compromising here, caving in up here with the Seven of Wands. And then, his head in his hands, and maybe outright migraines, because we know he just drinks Diet Coke. He's having to get, I don't know if he's actually possibly getting blood transfusions, but he's definitely getting IV drips to hydrate himself, because he's dehydrating himself with Diet Coke and his lack of drinking water, and the blow that goes up his face, right? Yeah. Got to take some blows so he feels better about himself, and then so he can have that conversation with Putin and not feel like the little boy getting scolded, or reminding, you know. Let me see if I have, if I can, I think it's right here. Oh yeah, yay, okay. So a couple things that I keep close by. First of all, the Financial Crimes Network of our Department of the Treasury, Financial Crimes, part of our government. This was in 2015, where he got hit with a $10 million fine for not complying with anti-money laundering laws. So there's that. But this one, here's the one that relates to Putin. This came out on this Russian news site. Russian presidential aide Nikolai Patrushev said, "The election campaign is over. To achieve success in the election, Donald Trump relied on certain forces to which he has corresponding obligations." Gee, what do you think that was about? As a responsible person, yeah, sure, he will be obliged to fulfill them. So that's what these late night, I don't know what the difference is. It about 10 hours difference in time zone over there? 10 or 12 hours? Yeah. Anyway, you know it'd be according to Putin's schedule, not his. Okay, I'm done. Take good care. You guys have a wonderful day. Oh, and join me live. I'll be live at noontime today, Thursday, the 12th. I'm sorry, not noon. I changed it. I had to change it to 11 a.m. 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern, and adjust in between to your time zone. Thank you. Signing out. Bye.